Hello, Abe.
Hi,
Hi guys, how are you today?
good.
Where are you, Abe?
I'm in Los Angeles. What about you?
No,
Mm.
so it's decent time. We're both in New York.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking some time to speak with me. I had a chance to start watching this show, and I'm curious when your relationship with Dangerous Liaisons as a story began.
Well, there's a reason that the title "Dangerous Liaison" in the story keeps reemerging, and it's constantly sort of in people's front of mind. There's something about the story that speaks to people, and that's partly, I think, because at its core, it's a love story, and it's the story of a woman navigating a man's world. And that is as relevant to today as it was in the latter part of the 18th century. And so when I spoke to Harriet, we had a thought about making it as a television series, but we weren't quite sure how to do it. And what part of the story to tell, because the play was at a certain time frame that didn't seem to, and the movie, there didn't seem to be much further you could go with those stories. So we had to find another way to tell it. And that's when Harriet came on board and found was brilliant to come up with the concept of what we have now.
Oh, thanks, Colin. It was so exciting to look again at the novel and to watch Christopher Hampton's amazing adaptation. And obviously having such huge respect for Colin. But I looked and I thought, I wonder if there is anything more, but as Colin had said, sort of a television version, the different demands of that medium. So rereading the novel, I came across this extraordinary letter in it, letter 81, which is from the Marquise de Merteuil. And I read it and interpreted it. It's about really her journey and how she talks about creating herself to survive this world, teaching herself not to show what she's feeling, how she builds this extraordinary reputation, but carves a very secret life. And in a way, it's a woman in conflict with the world that she's in. And reading it and interpreting it, thinking of our ambitions, I thought, wow, this really feels like the story of a woman who wasn't necessarily of that world. It wasn't an easy relationship. And it talks very much of her as a construct. So I thought, wow, maybe this is the space, this idea of who she was before, why she is in conflict with this world. And I thought, gosh, that might be something really exciting. It might be something that allows us to take such fabulous sort of pieces and narrative strands of the novel, but really drive it through a incredibly iconic central female character who we get to really tell the prelude of and yet know where, in some ways, we know where we think this story will eventually go, and that's the character of the Marquise and Valmont. I think what we love about the show is we continue to subvert those expectations, but that was kind of our sort of history with it, which has been a long one. We've lived this for many years, haven't we?
As ever.
Yeah.
Well, because it is a prelude, was there any consideration that you didn't want to have this title, or you still want people to come in expecting this greater universe?
Well, half the fun with something like this is actually subverting people's expectations and surprising them. And that was the opportunity and the fun that Harriet has with this.
Yeah, because it's still very much, we would not have this show without this novel. I mean, I keep pointing to it just because I carry it around like a kind of comfort blanket. But the themes, very much season one was always about the world of the novel, the seduction, the wit, the humor.
And the danger.
Yeah, the danger, exactly. And I think the joy and the hope that we get to continue telling this story is we will always take these wonderful gems from the novel, slightly repackage, take them in a direction we're not expecting, but drive each season with one of those themes, as we have done, or one of those narrative strands, as we have done with season one. So it's the world of the novel, the time of the novel, and key narrative threads.
So how many seasons do you have mapped out already?
Oh, well,
we got
yeah.
Season after season. We just have to persuade Starz that they got to back it all.
Yeah. and hope that people love watching.
That was going to be my next question. Starz has really, been a sort of up and coming space for a lot of these shows that are not necessarily present set, but they really do well with a lot of period dramas. What has the process been? I know that Colin, you've worked with them before on a number of different projects. What has that been process been like?
They've been great. I mean, they have indeed carved a niche, and it's not just period dramas. It's period dramas with a female skew, where the protagonists, where the central characters are women. Most history is told by white men, and so the opportunity here to tell this story from a woman's point of view, which is ostensibly what Harriet has done, was an enormous opportunity, and they embraced this approach from the day one. They've been great supporters of ours and great partners.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I hope everyone will check out Dangerous Liaisons when it premieres on Starz on November 6th. Thank you so much, both of you, for speaking with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.